Okay, you were getting into what I've even seen in the New York Times and Washington Post. They admit that under Bush, they took most of the regulators and most of the FBI investigators off the big tax thieves and put them literally on mom and pops. I mean, if that isn't open, conscious criminality, I mean, you'd think the government would want these tax revenues. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, they throw away money. It's completely insane. They cut the overall number, even though they knew that they would cost them more in lost taxes than they would save by not having enough IRS people. And then they oriented the IRS people overwhelmingly towards not even middle class, but actually working class Americans. So, you know, it's a spectacular misuse of money. It results in far less tax dollars being, far fewer tax dollars being collected. There's nobody that can defend it, but it's part of the general piece. You know, white-collar prosecutions are down more than 25% under the Bush administration, when, of course, white-collar crimes reached an unprecedented level in history.
And now it's accelerating under Obama. Or, I mean, are we seeing an acceleration of that? I mean, I don't see them changing the enforcement.
Well, we certainly haven't seen it yet. We talked earlier that they first announced that they were actually going to investigate the big lenders, which they themselves, again, said were the key frauds 2 years ago, March 2007. Not a single major indictment. So, you know, maybe they have, you know, they're having the most wonderful, most secret, most successful investigation of all time, and there have been no leaks. But that doesn't sound like America to me.
All right, we only got a few minutes left, sir, and then I'll let you take a break and do the interview with the guys. Again, we're very thankful we'll have you back up soon because you can't do this in an hour. In closing, what are the solutions? I mean, for me, if we start grand jury investigations, not just federal, but state, if we go after more of these Madoff crooks, get them to flip and expose the larger system, isn't the quickest way to end this is to have investigations and start arresting people? I mean, won't that point out how this is criminal and needs to be stopped?
But you won't get that as long as the failed bankers, often the fraudulent failed bankers, are left in positions of power. You need to put honest bankers in who will have the incentive and the orders to find where the bodies are buried and to make the necessary criminal referrals. The FBI cannot do this on its own. So here's an action agenda. 1, start the Pecora investigation immediately. 2, get rid of the bad bankers that caused the failures. 3, put honest, competent bankers in. 4, find the facts about the assets. 5, make the appropriate criminal referrals with detailed roadmaps for the FBI so they can make a successful case. 6, indict them. 7, look for the Achilles heels in the fraud. We don't have remotely enough people. We should, of course, increase greatly the number of FBI agents, but you also have to do like an emergency in medicine. You have to triage. You have to prioritize. So go after the rating agencies. There are only 3 of them. With 20 competent regulators, you could rip that place out and build it in a competent, fresh fashion. And without the AAA ratings, this crisis couldn't have become a global disaster. So well, there's my action agenda.
Very well done. And please talk to the guys in more detail about solutions. The problem is, though, the very corrupt elite that have engineered this are in control of both parties, and the fox is running the hen house, so it doesn't look like that's going to happen, does it?
If we get the facts through a Pecora investigation, we will so embarrass them that they will not be able to block many of these reforms.
And it is us or them. I mean, they're only going to make it worse if we don't do it, right?
That's the whole history that I just went through.
All right.
It's getting much worse.
Thank you so much, Mr. Black. Thank you for spending